Presumptive 2020 Democrat nominee Joe Biden is out with a new plan to bring in African-American voters. But the Lift Every Voice platform sounds a lot like Bernie Sanders, a lot more than that than Moderate Joe. It includes universal pre-K, free tuition for public colleges, elements of the Green New Deal, and, of course, ending incarceration for drug use alone. So the question is that going to attract more black voters? Here to debate, Candace Owens, founder of the Blexit Movement, author of Blackout. Also with me is Leo Terrell, civil rights attorney. All right, Candace, do black voters really just want that laundry list of items? Is it appealing to them?
More free stuff, the same stuff that we've been offered pretty much since the 1960s that has really led to the devastation of our community? I think not, and I think that if this is the platform that Joe Biden is going to go towards, he should partner with a technology firm and try to create a device that just wipes out the memory of all black Americans regarding his own racial record. I mean, this is the man that once called school integration between white and black Americans the most racist concept you can come up with. That's a direct quote, which you can look up in an NPR interview from the 1970s. This is a man that voted against busing on the basis that black people wanted to be segregated. He made that argument strong. This is the man that was proud to have authored, or at least be a big part of the process in authoring the Crime Bill of 1994. He used to call it the Biden Crime Bill of 94, which further devastated black Americans. So I think his time on his campaign would be better spent, again, developing some technology to wipe out the memory of all black Americans, because this is not going to work. It's foolishness.
Leo, Joe Biden obviously has a sizable lead, you look at polls now, over Donald Trump. But does what is happening to small businesses in the United States during some of these extended shutdowns in blue state America, does that present, and put on your objective cap here, does that present an opening for Trump to say, we just want to give you your livelihoods back? A lot of small business owners in the African-American community.
Thank you for having me, Laura. Give me 30 seconds just to respond. I'll talk about right now instead of the last 40 years that Candace was talking about. Fact one, the coronavirus has affected blacks at a disproportionate rate, higher than any other group, primarily because what you said earlier, because African Americans working at they're unable to work at job, at minimum wage job. They can't afford to take off. They have been hurt by this virus more than any other group. Secondly, the stimulus money, Laura, $2 trillion. You don't see black businesses receiving the $2 trillion. You don't see them getting any portion of that whatsoever. Candace didn't talk about that. Let's talk about these jobs. Trump always
talk about that.
African Americans having jobs. But Laura, as you mentioned, they work minimum wage job. They can't work at home. They have to go out there. As a result, they're infected by the virus. And finally, tuition, free tuition. You know why that's important? It's so that African Americans can become a professional, like a lawyer, and we can work at home. And that is why free tuition is important, to elevate blacks from these minimum wage jobs that Candace and Donald Trump like, and put us in a professional white-collar position, like Leo Terrell. That's what we want.
I was going to say Leo Terrell is in a white-collar position, as are, I think, many African Americans. Not every African American works in a minimum wage job, although a lot of folks do, and they have been very hard hit. But Candace, yes. Candace, these stimulus checks went out to small businesses, and it was depleted pretty fast, that PPP. But you have to apply for it. You have to apply for the money, and I know a lot of people have applied for it, and they did get the relief. But at some point, that relief runs out.
That's absolutely correct. And first off, this is a straw man argument to say black Americans didn't receive any of the stimulus checks. He has no empirical data. He's just making a statement and expecting us to accept it to be true and arguing on that basis, which is factually incorrect. I do know some black small businesses who did receive some of the stimulus because they applied early. But that's neither here nor there. To answer what you just asked me about the stimulus money running out, that's what happens, because you can't just print money out of thin air. The best way to look at that and understand why this is a dangerous route, and for people that are arguing for just more and more, free money, just take a look at the welfare system. $22 trillion has been injected in the welfare system since its inception in this country, and black Americans are poorer today than they were when it began.
All right.
So that's where we are.
We're going to have to stop it at